Now, I will call upon a very interesting character who has recently written a book called Kampong Boy. He is a lawyer and his name is Ravi. Ravi.
Let me come from the dark to the light so that the government can mark me. I have been told, just like the others, and it so happened that more and more increasing number of lawyers are being marked. But 10 years I've been marked, so what? But it's important, my dear fellow Singaporeans, that you have come today to mark the government. And if they don't listen to you, you know which column to mark. And on that note, I wish you a happy May Day. And just a few minutes ago, to celebrate our diversity and to honor our cultural plurality, I've been asked to say a few words in Tamil. So I hope you will bear with me. Kawan-kawan, saudara-saudara dan saudari-saudari. Hari ini selamat rakyat. That's not Tamil, by the way. Just testing how many of you understand Malay. அனைவருக்கும் வணக்கம். இன்று பாட்டாளி தினம். இன்று நீங்கள் உங்களது உரிமைகளை எழுப்பும் நாள். முதலில் அரசாங்கம், தொழிற்சங்கம் மூன்றும் ஒன்று சேர்ந்து பாட்டாளிகளுக்கு உரிமைகளை உத்தரவாதம் கொடுக்கும் ஒரு முக்கோண கூட்டு ஏற்பாடு. இந்த முக்கோண கூட்டு ஏற்பாடு உங்களது உரிமைகளை குறைத்துக் கொண்டு நிற்கிறவே தவிர இந்த 40 ஆண்டுகளாக உங்களுக்கு உரிமையை கொடுத்ததில்லை. Wow, everyone understand Tamil? ஆகையால் எனது அன்பு நண்பர்களே, சிங்கப்பூரியர்களே, எனது இதயம் கனிந்த மக்களே, உங்கள் உரிமைகளை நீங்கள் கேட்க வேண்டும். உங்கள் குறைகளை நீங்கள் எடுத்து பேச வேண்டும். நீங்கள் உங்களது கோரிக்கைகளை உங்களது நாடாளுமன்றத்தின் பிரதிநிதிகளிடம் கேட்க வேண்டும். வெட்கப்படாதீங்க, தைரியமா கேளுங்க. தட்டுனாதான் திறக்கப்படும், கேட்டாதான் கொடுக்கப்படும். நமது வெள்ளை அறிக்கை எங்கே போய் கொண்டிருக்கின்றது என்பதை நான் உங்களிடம் சொல்லி நீங்கள் தெரிய வேண்டியதில்லை. ஆகையால் அன்பர்களே, இந்த பாட்டாளி தினத்தில் நீங்கள் எல்லாம் விழித்திருங்கள். தனித்திரு, பசித்திரு, விழித்திரு. நீ சோர்ந்து படுத்து விட்டால் நீ படுத்த இடம் சுடுகாடு. பாய்ந்து புறப்படு, பாதையெல்லாம் முன்வீடு. விழித்துக் கொண்டோரெல்லாம் பிழைத்துக் கொண்டார், குரட்டை விட்டோரெல்லாம் கோட்டை விட்டார். வணக்கம். Thank you for the support. Don't touch me again. Okay, today I want to talk about two pressing concerns that affect all walks of Singaporeans. First, the white paper. Second, a topic which is very close to my heart, that is human rights. I believe what is missing in the white paper is all of us. We are not in the white paper at all. The government can make bold assertions, I've shaved my hair. But perhaps our heads have been counted, but our voices have not been heard. Going by the great debate and unhappiness generated by this stubborn policy making and policy makers, i.e. the government, the white paper bill was passed. It is clear that this is a policy to make the increasingly harsh living conditions in Singapore even more unbearable. 6.9 million people
Pollution!
in 17 years, 30% increase of population. I agree, Xiao. 6.9. What a figure. You turn 6 and 9 upside down, the effect is the same. And 6-9, the shape, by the way, looks very fishy. 2 months ago, 5,000 people gathered at the speaker's corner, and you have given the government a yellow card. You know what's a yellow card? In a soccer game, a referee gives, yes, a warning. After that, finally he gives the red card, you will be sacked. But I will come back to the red card later. Now we stay focused on our yellow card. So you came today to give, yes, your second yellow card. And the second yellow card. And you told the government at the last gathering at the speaker's corner, please listen to us, please hear us before you cover the shroud of white paper, which is a piece of deadly misery over us. And peace-loving Singaporeans and who are hardworking, so that you are seeking a peaceful existence and quiet and happy environment. Did they listen to you? How will our tiny island of 713.4 kilometers, which is already strained by 5.3 million? I ask you a very basic question, no need to go too far. Have the government found a solution to a simple overcrowding of trains with 5.3 million people? No! And yet you have a grand scheme to invite immigrants every year, 25,000 immigrants every year for 17 years. Where do you put our existing people? How much more land do you have to acquire? Have the government found any basic solutions to as basic as the train? And why 6.9, I ask you? And not why 6.99, huh? Have you ever thought about it? 6.9 and not 6.99. The white paper has come down to a pasar malam. Say you want 7 million. If you don't even have the conscience to proclaim that your expected target population is 7 million, it's no longer about conscience anymore. You know what? It is called conscience. How to con. It's a science of conning, it's not conscience. The government claims that if you don't increase the population to 6.9 billion people, Singapore's GDP growth will fall to 2 to 3% after 2030, and we will no longer be competitive in the global arena. But who does the population growth benefit? Does it benefit you? No! The targeted population growth increase poverty and it increase unequal distribution of wealth. As I speak, we are already the second most unequal society in the world, with the second most biggest divide between the rich and the poor. And you know what? Always the government use statistics to scare off the people with its damaging policies. And let me tell you, you know what is statistics like? It is like a bikini. What it reveals is interesting, but what it conceals is very fascinating. It conceals the fact that the government is stuck with the outmoded concept that economic growth is just about increase of population and productivity. Now coming back to the very close to my heart, a topic which I said is human rights. I will not tell you the constitutional rights and civil liberties now, but I will go back to a very basic question. Human rights is about having the space to discover the human spirit. We are creating a society devoid of spirit with this increased population. We are making ourselves even more weak for new occupiers to just make money. And education and acquisition of knowledge is not just about a means to an end. We need our kids to study literature, understand the cosmos, appreciate life, and questioning minds. And you know what? You need the time, not quick, fish, finish, faster. You need time to stop and pause and stare. You need time and space to think. But don't stare too much, otherwise they'll send you the image. So the system has created hypertension. It rewards materialism, which in turn creates lack of passion for the finest aspects of life. We are always talking about Singapore as being a cosmopolitan, world-class city. But let me tell you, you can be rich, but without human rights, Singapore, she is a poor little rich girl. My dear friends, coming to a very vital topic, the rule of law in Singapore is under serious threat right now. Bloggers are taken to task on account of contempt of court and defamation actions. Civil society is under threat. You know, just look across the causeway. Does the Malaysian government and the people have time for all these things? You know why? Even the government in Malaysia can be toppled anytime now. So, you know what's happening in Singapore? The government is too free and the people are too busy. So that is why they have so much of time to spend on all these actions against bloggers. This is a pivotal moment of our history that we stand united to fight for our fundamental rights as citizens, and please lend your support to one another. Today is May Day. It's about workers' rights. The tripartite relationship between the government, employer and trade unions is supposed to protect the workers' rights. But you know what? This ineffective three-way arrangement has compromised workers' rights. The government is saying that this three-way relationship does not oppress the workers because it has worked for 40 years. Of course it has worked for 40 years. For who? For the government. So I ask you a direct questions. You are the people. You answer this question. Do the unions in Singapore represent your voice? I hope the government is listening. It is time that you stand up for Singapore to reclaim your basic rights, which is lacking in the following areas. No free speech. You open the mouth, sue and sue and sue. Now you don't even have a place to sue because the toilet is closed. And there is no free assembly. You have weak unions. You have the ISA. You still have mandatory death penalty. And you have no human rights commission. The neighboring ASEAN countries, Malaysia, Thailand, Philippines, and Indonesia were all the founding members of the ASEAN. All have human rights commission. Why Singapore does not have the National Human Rights Commission? Say boo! And you have, I will pause for a moment, a weak law society. You go across the causeway, you see a very strong bar council that's fighting for people's rights. We have a weak parliament, I don't have to tell you. There's no parliamentary ombudsman. There's no automatic right to by-election. A lady called Velama last year, a brave lady from Hougang. She sends her regards to you. She is quite ill at the moment, but she sends her regard to you. Velama, who happens to be a cleaner, she has to go to the court to clean up the constitution. That is the status of constitutional rights in Singapore. Section 377A. You make people criminals just because of their sexuality. It's a shame. My dear brothers and sisters, friends and fellow Singaporeans, I love all of you so much. And I'm telling you from my bottom of my heart, we cannot be any more weaker. So you have come to do something about this today. You can communicate through Facebook, Twitter, email, telephone, postcards. Go to your MPs and air your views about this white paper continuously and about your rights. If all that does not work, then you give the government the red card at the next general elections. Thank you.